Now we'll proceed towards Revman. Okay, we have our data extraction, which we have done our data extraction. Now we will proceed towards Revman. In the last session, Dr. Sharyar had explained how to log into Revman, um, how to log into Revman, how to use Revman. So I have logged into Revman. I have gone into my portfolio, and now I will create a new review. Do you guys have any confusion that how I got this screen? This is my portfolio. Okay, सही है. So, okay, so there's no and yes. Is there any confusion? No or yes? Should I proceed? Should I proceed, guys? Okay, yes. Okay, it's clear is a better answer. Okay, so let's just proceed. So now I'll create a new review. Okay, we had done for dichotomous outcomes last week. Now we'll do the analysis. We'll make a forest plot for continuous outcomes. Okay, I hope the data extraction was clear to everyone and you guys don't have any more doubts now. Okay, using that data extraction sheet we will be continuing with our analysis now. So we'll go to a new review. Click on new review.
And the major step is basically the data extraction. If your data extraction is perfect, you're gonna run your analysis smoothly. If your data extraction lacks anything, then your analysis will be wrong. So be careful with your data extraction and try to review it. If two authors have done the data extraction, another two authors should review the data extraction. Dr. Radia, you may continue now.
Okay, so we continue with create new review. Title over here, we'll keep the title as MBSR for chronic headaches. Okay, again, your title, it's up to you, whatever title you want to keep depending on your topic. And then we don't need to change anything over here. That's it. Everything will remain the same. No other changes are required. And we will add review. Okay, any doubts over here? Any doubts what's going on? You click on new review, you select the title for your review, and you click on add review. Okay, that's it. And initiate project. Okay, so this is my review. Okay, I will click on my review. There we go.
Also, don't do it side by side. Just try to note down the step, each and every step. Then you will be allowed to do your analysis.
Yes, guys, don't open Revman right
If
now.
you guys will open the Revman, it might get, and the website might get crashed, and we will also be not be able to run the analysis.
Okay, so now we'll take this box and okay, and we'll start a review. Okay, so now can you guys guide me? What should I click on next? Where should I go next? Can you guys guide me? Studies, exactly. I will go to studies and I will go where? In studies, where should I go in studies? You guys will tell me the steps now and I will follow. I'll go in included. Okay, where should I click now? Add study. Okay, now can you guys tell me the name of the first study from the data extraction sheet? I want you guys to take a snapshot of the data extraction sheet. Okay, take a snapshot of this sheet. Just this part. Just this part. Take a snapshot of it. And now you guys will guide me. Okay, that what is the first study? Can you guys tell me the name for the first study? Wells. Okay. Year 2014. And what should I do now? What should I do now, guys? Back to included studies. Excellent. I'll go back to the included studies. Again, I'll go to add study. Can you guys tell me the name of the second study? Dave, can you guys tell me the year of the study? 2014, and back to included studies. Okay, then again, add study. The name of the third study. Seminowics. Seminowics. Okay, year of study is 2020. And again, back to included studies. Say it. Now where should I go? Now you guys will guide me again. Where should I go? Analysis, exactly. What should I do? Add analysis group. सही है. ठीक है. Now, my outcome. What is my outcome? Do you guys remember what my outcome was? It's headache frequency, right? So it's headache frequency. Okay. So this is a new analysis group. I'll go back to analysis, and I need to click on add analysis. Okay, so I'll select manual. I'll click on OK. New analysis. I added the name of the analysis over there. I'll add it again over here. Headache frequency. Headache frequency is the outcome I am assessing. Okay. Now comes the main part. Can you guys tell me the data type? I should select over here. What is the data type? Can you guys tell me? Continuous, exactly. Intervention group. What is my intervention group? Is MBSR, MBCT. That is, I'll leave it as control. Okay. Statistical method will remain as inverse variance. What should my effect measure be? Should it be weighted mean difference or should it be standard mean difference? Can you guys tell me? What should it be? Standard mean difference or weighted mean difference? Headache frequency. Frequency can be measured on a scale. It could be mentioned in 30 days. Exactly. Standard mean difference. Excellent. Anyone has a doubt over here of why we use standard mean difference? Any doubt, guys? Does anyone have any doubt? No doubts? Okay, then we'll proceed if there are no doubts. Okay, Nidal, we have added standard mean difference because headache frequency is an outcome that headache frequency could be measured in 28 days. It could be measured in 30 days. It could be measured in 50 days. There is a certain scale for it, okay? And the units are not interconvertible. There are no units for measuring headache frequency, right? So that is why we will use standard mean difference. Since there are no units, you cannot convert it into one another, okay? So that is why we will use standard mean difference. Clear? Okay. Analysis model. Which analysis model should we use, guys? Fixed effects, random effects? Random effects. Excellent.
Do you guys remember why do we use random effects?
Yes, they remember. I asked it at the beginning of the session today and they did remember.
I told you you will always use random effects, but why? I told you the reason. Why do we use random effects?
For diversity is to cater for the minor differences, exactly.
Exactly, to cater for the minor differences between the population of different research trials.
Okay, so where should we go now? I have entered everything in the options section. Where should I go now? In the data, exactly. Go to the data, and now I will add data row. I need to add all 3 of the studies. Okay. Okay, now you guys can see how the raw data is presenting itself. Mean, standard deviation, total. Mean, standard deviation, total. Does anyone have any confusion in this window? In the raw data, in the standard mean difference? Do you guys have any confusion in this data, in this window, the window that you see? Okay, great. Now we will start entering the data we have extracted. Okay. Now I'll open the data extraction sheet side by side and let's see what we have here. Okay, there. You guys can see that we have the MBSR, we have the control. But can you guys, okay, but do you guys remember, do we add this data directly or do we need to enter the change? You guys notice the problem over here? You guys notice the problem? Do you guys notice the problem we have over here? Over here. Can you guys see the problem? You can only mention one value. Okay, you do not have the different columns for pre-intervention and post-intervention. You only have the columns for mean, standard deviation, and total in the MBSR group, and for mean, standard deviation, and control in the and total in the control group. You do not have different columns for the pre-treatment and post-treatment, right? So what can we do over here? We'll first of all we'll enter the data directly for which we have the change. Okay, the change is directly reported and which study is directly reported in day et al. So first I'll mention the data for day et al. Okay, for day et al, can you guys tell me what the mean was in the MBSR group? Can you guys tell me the mean of the MBSR group, the mean change in the MBSR group for Wells? It is minus 1.08. Guys, come on, respond in the chat box. Do you guys follow me? Are you guys with me right now? Post minus pre, yes, mama, but I told you guys that you cannot calculate the standard deviation or the confidence interval like this, right? Is everyone with me, or do you guys not understand what's going on? Come on, guys, everyone, please wake up. Come on, guys, respond in the chat box. I want everyone to wake up. This is very important. Come on. Okay, so I entered minus 1.0. Can you guys tell me the standard deviation? Yes, it is 1.71. Total number of participants were in the MBSR group. We have 17 participants. Okay, so we enter 17 over here. Now for the control group, please tell me the values for the control group in day et al. Please tell me the values. Mean was minus 1.00. Yes. Wait. Yes. Okay, standard deviation is, I don't know, just a second, guys. Just a second. This one standard deviation is 1.58. Total number of participants were 17. Wait, let me confirm. Yes, 17. Okay, can you guys see the result? Can you guys see the result over here? Do I get the standard mean difference for it, and do I get the 95% confidence interval? For those who are confused, I'll repeat it again. For day et al, in our data extraction sheet, if you look at our data extraction sheet, for day et al, we had calculated, we had the data directly, we had the change directly, right? I told you guys that in RevMan, we do not enter the pre-treatment or the post-treatment mean. We actually enter the change in mean, right? The change in the two groups, the change that has taken place over time, the change between the pre-treatment and the post-treatment in each of the groups. We enter that mean change on RevMan, right? Okay, so only for day et al, our article gave us the direct values, right? So we will input these values directly into RevMan, and that is what I have done. For the intervention group, I have added the values directly of the mean, standard deviation, the total, and also for the control group. Okay. Do you guys understand this now? Yes and I do not calculate the changes directly. Okay, do you guys understand what we have done now? Is this clear to you guys? Any confusion, guys? Guys, come on, please wake up. Any confusion, you can stop me. Okay. Someone asked me to repeat, so is this clear now? Afridi, is it clear to you? Okay, great. Now the problem is, now you guys need to be very vigilant. The problem is with these values, the values where you have the pre-treatment and you have the post-treatment, you do not have the change, okay? You can guess directly calculate the change by subtracting the means, but the problem is with the standard errors or the standard deviations or with the confidence intervals, because you cannot directly subtract these values to calculate the change. Okay, for that also we can use RevMan, and I will tell you guys how we do it. It's a bit lengthy process, but again, I want you guys to concentrate so you can understand. Okay, we will calculate the change. We will calculate these boxes by using RevMan. Okay, we will calculate the change in both of these studies in Wells 2014 and Seminovics. You will calculate the change in both of the groups by using RevMan. Okay, I will tell you guys how to do that now. Now we will leave this forest plot. We will use this forest plot as it is. I will not do anything to it. Okay, I will leave it as it is for now. I have entered the data for this study. The rest of the two studies, I cannot enter the data directly because I do not have that data with me right now. So I will go back. I will go back to the main analysis. Okay. And I will now listen to me very carefully. I will add analysis. I will add another analysis, manual. Okay. And I will now, my new analysis, basically, this is, you guys can see, this is the background work. Okay, this is the background work. I am doing this, what I'm doing right now is extra work. I do not need to report it. So the name of my study, so I'm not going to name it after any outcome. I will name it as MBSR. What I'm doing right now, I'll simply tell you guys, I am going to use RevMan to calculate the change for me in the pre-treatment and post-treatment. Is this clear? Do you guys understand what I'm going to do now? I'm going to use RevMan to calculate the difference in the pre-treatment and post-treatment for me. Okay, this is extra work. Is this clear to everyone? Is everyone with me right now? Do not do this with me right now. Try to understand it first. You will get time to do it later on. Okay, I'm going to use RevMan. What I will do, I clicked on another. I will add analysis, and I will label my first group as my intervention group as MBSR, MBCT. Okay, I'm going to label the first analysis over here as MBSR, MBCT. Okay. Again, I will select, now listen to me. Over here, I will not select my data type as continuous. I will select this. I will select contrast level GIV. I will select generic inverse variance over here. Do you guys follow? I will not select continuous. I will select generic inverse variance over here. Okay, I will select generic inverse variance. Trust me right now, I will select generic inverse variance. Okay, I added another analysis. I labeled that analysis as my intervention group because right now I am only going to calculate the change in my intervention group for both of these studies. Okay, what I'm trying to do is that I'm going to calculate the change in the intervention group for both of my studies, pre-treatment and post-treatment change. Okay, that is why I will not use continuous. I will use generic inverse variance. This is the second place I'm using generic inverse variance. Can you guys tell me the first place, the first scenario where I use generic inverse variance? Can you guys tell me that? Come on, guys. Can you guys tell me where I first used generic inverse variance? Dr. Shehryar showed it to you guys in the last session that we were in dichotomous effect size. Exactly, Anaya. Exactly, Aruba. Yes, Mama Taha. Yes. We use when effect sizes were given. This is another place where you can use generic inverse variance, where you need to calculate the difference between two means, where you need to calculate the difference between two standard deviations or two confidence intervals to give you a proper mean difference. Okay, and that is why I'm going to use contrast level. I'm going to use generic
Recording
inverse
stopped.
over here. Okay, I'm not going to change anything else. Okay, nothing. I'm not going to change anything else. Experimental control, it does not matter. Okay, it does. None of this matters right now.
Recording in progress.
I will not change this either. My effect measure over here. Now listen to me carefully. My effect measure over here will simply be mean difference, not standard mean difference, because I am not considering my continuous outcomes over here. I just need the basic mean difference over here. I do not need any standardized value. I'm not concerned about the units over here. I just need a proper mean difference. Is this clear? I'm going to use mean difference over here. That standard mean difference, that weighted mean difference that I added was when I was selecting my data type as continuous. Over here, my data type is generic inverse variance, and what I want my effect measure to simply be the mean difference, because this is what I need to enter into my main forest plot. Is this clear to everyone? Any doubts? You guys can stop me right now. Any problem? Ask right now.
Basically, we are calculating the difference between the pre-intervention and post-intervention. So the effect measure we will use will be mean difference. So this is basically the pre-workup, the workup thing. It's your pre-workup for the main analysis. So yeah, that's why we are using the mean difference here.
Weighted mean difference option is the same as mean difference, okay? But over here we are not considering the difference in the weighted and standard mean difference, so we will simply take the mean difference over here, okay? So whenever you are using RevMan to collect the difference between two means in your continuous data for your post-intervention, for your pre-intervention, so that you can get the standard deviation, the standard error for it, your analysis model will simply be mean difference, okay? Malaika, mean difference is basically the weighted mean difference that we discussed in the beginning of today's session, okay?
Radhya, you may continue. I'll reply in the chat.
Okay, so we are selecting mean difference over here. Okay, my effect measure is my mean difference. Analysis model, I will change it to random effects. I do not need to change anything else over here. Okay, and I'm going to go to the data section. The two articles that I need are now Seminovics and Wells, right? Yes, Wells and Seminovics. I need Wells and Seminovics. Why? Because Day et al. I do not need the data for Day et al. Because I have already added it directly into my main forest plot. Okay, so this is okay. Now you guys can see, I will get my mean difference, I will get my standard error. But how? How? The main question is how. It is not giving us the option for selecting the pre-treatment or post-treatment options. Guys, do you have now do you have any questions? Is this clear till now? The options that I had selected, are these clear to you? You guys understand what's going on over here? It's a bit confusing. So if you have any queries, you can ask me right away. Okay. Now what I'm going to do, again, you guys can see I do not have the columns, the cells to enter my pre-intervention and post-intervention, my pre-intervention, post-intervention directly, right? So what I will do, I will go to action over here. Fatima, that calculator was just to convert the median into mean, okay? You cannot, it was not used to calculate the differences in the mean. It was not used to calculate the differences between the pre-intervention and post-intervention groups, okay? Now, you guys can see this action. I will click on this action. I will select calculator from here. Clear, guys? Follow my cursor. Action, then calculator. In my calculator, okay, I have given experiment. It's given, I have not changed the labels. I given experimental and given control. So what I will do, ignore the experimental and control over here. You will enter your, one second. Yes, you will enter your post-interventional value over here and your pre-interventional value in the denominator. Okay? Post-interventional value first, then pre-interventional value. If you guys can notice, this calculator has two parts. First, the given experimental, then the calculated experimental. Okay. Then it has another section for given control and calculated control. Okay. It has two sections, one for the experimental and one for the control. Okay. So in my
Right now, don't think it as experimental and control. Take it as post-intervention and pre-intervention.
Okay, I'll make it easier for you guys. Okay, let's just close this calculator for now. In the options section, I will select in the options section where it was written experimental and control. I'll simply write post intervention and pre intervention. Okay, so that the calculator can make more sense to you. Post intervention.
Basically, it's a mean difference. So intervention group 1 post intervention में से pre intervention वाले का difference निकालना है. We have to calculate the difference between post and pre intervention. So in intervention group 1 we mentioned post intervention. In intervention group 2 we mentioned pre intervention, and we will enter the data accordingly.
You guys remember this example I told you that to calculate the change in the mean, the formula we use is post intervention minus pre intervention. You guys remember this? Guys, keep responding to me. Do you guys remember this? I told you guys that it is always post intervention minus pre intervention, right? That is exactly what we're going to do over here by using this calculator. Intervention 1 will be post-intervention, intervention group will be pre-intervention. Remember, this will always remain like this, okay? If you're using RefMan to calculate this change in mean, these things will always remain the same, okay? Your intervention group 1 will become post-intervention, your intervention group 2 will become pre-intervention, and your effect measure will become mean difference, your analysis model will all be the same, okay? And in your data, you will enter the studies only which require this calculation. Then you will go to action. You will click on calculator. In the calculator, now see you have the post intervention and then you have the pre intervention, right? Now I will simply add my mean, standard deviation, standard error, sample size, whatever I have. If I have the confidence interval, I will enter that. If I have the p-value, I will enter that in my post-intervention section and then also in my pre-intervention section, okay? So if you guys have the data set with you, can you guys, just a second, let me take a picture of that data set as well so that I can also enter the values with you.
Again, I would like to repeat that initially when we added those studies and then we went to the analysis part, we entered the data for day 2014 study. Directly we entered the change in the RevMan. So yeah, so we do not have change in the headache frequency for other two studies, the Wells and Seminovic. So in that original analysis where we added the change, we will use standard mean difference as the effect measure. But right now we are doing the workup thing to calculate the change in headache frequency for Wells and Seminovic. That's why we are using effect measure as mean difference in our pre-workup thing to calculate the change. Basically, you guys can see here the change is not mentioned for Wells and Seminovic, and standard error, standard deviation, and confidence interval are not basically subtracted from each other. You have to calculate it with the use of analysis, and we are utilizing the RevMan to calculate the change for us. We cannot just subtract the confidence intervals from each other. I hope you guys got my point.
Okay, guys, so now we're going to proceed for post-intervention. This is our MBA. You guys remember we are only doing this for the MBSR group right now. Okay, so open that data extraction table. Only look at the MBSR part. Look at the post-treatment mean. The post-treatment mean in the MBSR group for Seminovics. For Seminovics is 4.6. That is the mean. And the confidence interval is 3.7 to 5.6. Okay, 5.6. That is all we have, right? We have the mean and the confidence interval, and you have the sample size with you. The sample size in the MBSR group is 49. Okay, you have these three values. You will add these three values at the bottom. You can see that it has already calculated the standard deviation for you guys. Again, you don't need this over here. You will go down to the pre-intervention. Add the pre-intervention mean that was 7.8, along with the confidence interval that was 6.9. to 8.8. Again, only for the MBSR group. I'm going to only for the MBSR group, the post-treatment and the pre-treatment values I am adding. And in the end, I will go to update data table. Okay. Okay, wait, the sample size is left. The sample size is 40, so again 49, because again it's the MBSR group, right?
Guys, follow the picture. Follow the table, the data extraction table.
So now I will click on update data table. And now RevMan gave me the mean difference along with the 95% confidence interval for Seminovics. Does this make sense to you guys? Does this make sense to you guys? And
So
I know that
basically
just as
what
an
we did-
example, okay, that was just as an example to get you so that you guys understand the concept. The thing was that we can calculate the mean, but we cannot calculate the confidence interval or the standard deviation by simply subtracting the values. Okay, that is why we are using RevMan to do that for us. Now, what RevMan has done, RevMan gave us the mean difference along with the 95% confidence interval for this mean difference. Okay.
This
gave
mean
you guys-
difference is basically your change in
example
headache
is-
frequency for Seminovics study.
I just gave you guys that example so that you can understand the concept behind it, okay? Is this clear now? Anaya, is this clear? Rest of the participants, is this clear?
Ma'am, can you explain why we not use this standard mean difference?
First of all, I would request you guys to please keep the mic off and ask in the chat box, okay? Standard mean difference, whoever asked the question, standard mean difference, over here we will not use standard mean difference because you are simply calculating the difference between the pre-intervention and the post-intervention values, okay? Over here you have no regards of what the unit is. It does not matter what the unit is. You just simply need the mean difference. This is background work, okay? This is not the main forest plot. This is just background work you're doing. And over there you just simply need the mean difference, not the standard mean difference. Standard mean difference you need it for the main forest plot, for the main analysis where you will actually be comparing the different means to each other, okay? Does that answer your question? Taha, it gave us the confidence interval instead of the standard deviation, okay? So like I mentioned that you can also enter the standard, you can also enter the confidence interval into RevMan, okay? So this will give you the mean difference along with the 95% confidence interval, which is acceptable. You can enter this value into your main forest plot, okay?
Basically, what we did here is not for the forest plot. We are not getting any forest plot for this analysis. What we have done here, the mean difference thing, we are not. We are just doing it for this thing, the where the cursor is, the highlighted in blue thing. We will just note it, and we will enter this thing in our main forest plot. We are not
Basically,
doing
you can
this thing
copy this
for
value,
the forest
Karyan,
plot.
let me show it
We
to them.
we will just copy it in our Excel sheet.
Let me just show it to them. We will copy this value minus 3.20, minus 4.51, minus 1.89, right? We will copy this value in our Excel sheet over here. This was for the MBSR group for this study. And we have this value. So you guys get it? This is the value that we calculated over here. This was the change value, which we did not get directly. See, you can calculate the mean difference. Okay, you can calculate the mean difference. Post-treatment minus pre-treatment will give you this value, okay? But you cannot subtract the confidence interval from each other. That is why we used RevMan to give us this value. Does this make sense now to everyone?
It doesn't matter if you have standard deviation or you have confidence interval, both will work. Both will work. In the calculator thing, I already told you guys that you can calculator thing, you can enter literally anything. If you have total and event, if you have mean and standard deviation, if you have confidence interval, if you have risk ratios, if you have hazard ratios, everything can be entered in the calculator thing and you can get the final result.
Okay, now let's go to So the subtraction thing you showed was just an example of practically done. Yes, Anaya, that see, see, that was an example to explain to you the concept behind it. Okay. Again, this is not a real data set, and even over here, I just subtracted the means for you. I just showed you how you subtract the mean, and I told you that you cannot subtract the standard deviation, right? That is what I told you even at this point, that you cannot subtract the standard deviation from each other. But I told you that we will need the standard deviation because that is what we add into RevMan, the standard deviation or the confidence interval or the standard error, right? So now we're using now we use RevMan to actually calculate that difference in confidence interval for us, which we cannot just simply subtract because that is mathematically incorrect. Okay, that is why we are using RevMan. Again, guys, this point is very this is very important to understand because no one else basically tells you about this point. Okay, no one tells you that why do we need this change. You will be shown a simple data set which has already this change given, but how do you reach to this change? That is what I'm trying to explain to you guys right now. So does this make sense to you all? Anaya, is it clear to you now? The person on the mic who asked me the question, is this clear to you now?
If you will not follow this step, if you have continuous data and you have to analyze it, and you have value, and you don't have the changed value, the change in your outcome, like in this scenario, you have your change in your headache frequency. If you directly enter the post-treatment value in your data analysis, then it might be possible that your research might not get published, and the reviewer will note it, and he will send you revision that your analysis is wrong. So you have to do this step in order to calculate the change. If you don't have change directly mentioned, like in Wells and Seminovics, for days we had the change mentioned, like the mean and standard deviation were mentioned for headache frequency change. We entered that directly. We did not do any background work for that study, the days study. For Wells and Seminovics, we will calculate the mean and standard deviation or confidence interval, basically the change, and then we will enter this in the RevMan. I hope you guys got my point.
Okay, now we're going to
Radia, I guess you should repeat it once again from the original analysis, what we did in the RevMan.
I'm doing it again for Wells. Okay, I'll do it again. Just let me speak. I'll do it again for Wells et al. And then we'll proceed. Okay. So, okay, now we'll do it for Wells study as well. Okay, this is the second study for which we needed to do it. Again, I'll repeat it. What did we do? We were making our original forest plot for headache frequency. Okay, over there we entered the data for day directly because we had the required value. Seminovics and Wells, we did not have the change in mean with us. That is why we are going to do some background work to find out this mean and to find out basically this mean change. Okay, for that we will again add analysis first for the intervention group, and again we will do it for the control group as well. So for now, for the intervention group, we added the analysis. We entered the data for one study. We are going to enter the data for the second study now. Now I want you guys to tell me the values for Wells et al. I want you guys to first of all tell me where should I go now, guys. For Wells, tell me where should I go now if I want to calculate the mean difference. Where should I go now? I should go on action. What should I click on now? I should go on calculator. Okay. Now post-treatment values. Can you guys tell me the values to add over here? This is the post-treatment, right? So the post-treatment mean for Wells is 11.91. 11.91. Okay, now see, for Wells I have a lot of data. I have the standard deviation, which is 10.36. It is 10.36. Okay, I have the standard error, which is 4.69. Okay, and the sample size, which is 10. I do not have the confidence interval, so I did not enter it. Again, it's completely fine.
Recording stopped.
Whatever values you have, you will enter those. Okay, then I will go to the pre-intervention. I will enter the mean for the pre-intervention, which is, okay, no, wait, did I mention it? I think I added the wrong. So yes, I added it correct. Okay. Let's go where it is 10.26 and mean is 10.26. Standard deviation is 2.64. Standard error is 0.92. And the sample size is 9. Sorry, it is again 10. Again, it will remain the same, right? Sample size is 10. And I will click on update data table. And I got the mean change for this. Do you guys understand? Any questions? Any confusion now? Guys, any confusion now? I will copy this value in my table now. In my data extraction table. So I have this value with me as well. Any confusion now? Rest of the participants also, Amama reply, you had a confusion before, Afridi reply, Hamza reply, you guys understand this? We'll repeat this for control. Yes, we'll repeat this for control. I'll do that rapidly. If you guys understand this, I'll do that rapidly for control. You guys will tell me the steps. Okay, great. Now I have, okay, you need to copy these values. Can you repeat which value to copy? Amama, you're going to copy these. I'm concerned with MBSR right now, okay, because the group I've made, that is for MBSR. Right, I'm only calculating for MBSR right now, the pre-intervention minus the post-intervention minus pre-intervention for the MBSR group. This basically, I showed you guys in this example for the intervention group, post-intervention minus pre-intervention. This is the step basically which I've done on RevMan right now. Okay, the post-intervention minus pre-intervention on RevMan. So I'm going to use the values of MBSR in my post-treatment and in my pre-treatment. I'm going to enter post-treatment values first at the top of the calculator, then the pre-treatment values below at the bottom of the calculator, and I will click on update data table. That will give me my mean difference and the confidence interval. So I will copy this and I will copy this value into my data extraction sheet then, which is over here. Okay. Now I will repeat this for my control group. Again, what should I do for my control, guys? For my control, should I continue on this same or should I add another analysis? Can you guys tell me? Should I continue in this same group or should I add another analysis? I should basically add another analysis to make it easier. Okay?
Exactly. So we calculated the change in the headache frequency for the intervention group, which was MBSR. Again, now we will add another analysis for the control group. We will calculate the change in the headache frequency for control group separately.
Okay, so again, I'm going to label this as, just for my ease, I'm going to label this as control now. Okay. Data type, it will, can you guys tell me what do I select now? Quickly now, you guys will tell me the steps. What should I select in data type? I will select GIV. In my intervention group 1, intervention group 1 will be, what should I label it as? Post-intervention. My group 2, what should I label group 2 as?
Better is post-control.
3. Okay. Now, a statistical method. Okay, effect measure. What effect measure do I need? Mean difference. Okay, analysis model will be random effects. Excellent, guys, excellent. I'll go on data now. Which 2 studies do I need to add? Which 2 studies? Seminovics and Wells. Okay. Anaya, why? Because
Will be hazardous, so that's why to organize the data.
No, you have already added those studies.
Exactly.
You cannot add those same studies again in that same group, right? So that is why you need to make another group. You need to make another analysis, and over there you will add the studies again. You cannot add the same studies again and again for the same in the same analysis, right? That's why. Okay. Now which data should I use from this data analysis table? Can you guys tell me which columns should I use? Tell me D, E, F, G from these columns. Which 2 columns should I use now? First we used D and F, right? Now which ones should we use? E and G, exactly. Not H, E. Sorry, G. Okay, Amama, not H, we need G. Post-treatment we will take from here, pre-treatment we will take from here, and this will be the sample size which we will be using. Okay? So we'll go back to our RevMan. I'll go Seminovics action. I'll select calculator. Now I'll enter the values. Okay, post control is, this is Seminovics, right? So yes, it will be my mean is 6.0. My confidence intervals are 4.9 till 7.0. Okay, my sample size is 46. Pre में it is 7.7. Confidence interval is 6.7 till 8.7. My sample size is again 46, and I will update my data table. I got my mean difference. I am going to copy it and paste it in my data.
Recording in progress.
This was Seminovics, and this is my mean difference for that. Okay, now we're going to do the last one. Again, we'll click on action. We'll click on action, calculator. Again, we'll enter the mean. Okay, for this, it is 9.57. Standard deviation is 5.88. Standard error is 2.52. Sample size is 9. For the pre-intervention, it is 11.69. 2.89, 1.07, 1.07.
Recording stopped.
Size is again none. Okay, and click on update data table. And we got this value. We will copy this value and we'll paste it in our data extraction sheet. Okay, so now do we have all of the values? Yes, Amama, it's important to mention sample size. Sample size is always important. You will never get results without the sample size. And sample size, you always get it from the article. It's directly stated in the article. You guys understand everything now? Do you guys understand what all the trouble was about just to get these values? Now we have all the raw data for our main analysis, okay? It's not very confusing when you get the idea. Yes, it's lengthy work, but it's also fun to do, okay? It's you guys will enjoy doing it. Yes, I know it's lengthy, but I hope you guys get how to do it. Now let's go to now this was all background work. Any questions, guys? Any questions at all? Ask me right now. Because then we will be wrapping this up. I will not be doing this whole analysis again. Okay, so if you have any confusion, you can ask me right now. Right. So let's proceed to the main analysis now. The analysis that we had left. Why is sample size mentioned in where? Okay, Mama, it's right here. It's right here for the MDFI. Okay. Now let's go back to our main forest plot that we had left in the middle. That was abandoned. We'll go back to analysis. We'll visit our main forest plot that we're actually creating, the headache frequency. We will click on edit analysis. Okay, what did I do? I went back to my forest plot. I'll click on headache frequency, which is my main outcome. I will click on edit analysis. Okay. And I will now enter the required data for Seminovics and Wells. I will use the calculator for this again, okay? Because over there, what did I get? I got the confidence intervals, right? And I cannot enter the confidence intervals over here. I can only mention the standard deviation. So that is why I will use the calculator again. You guys get this? You guys get this? The value that we calculated over there, it gave us the confidence intervals, but we cannot enter the confidence intervals over here. That is why I will go to calculator, okay? Is everyone with me? Okay. Great. So we'll go on calculator again. We'll go on calculator. Now we have our MBSR, which is our intervention, and then we have our control. Okay. So and we have our values written over here. Okay. So now I need you guys to tell me these values. Which study is this? We have selected, this is Seminovics, guys. For Seminovics, can you guys tell me the mean for Seminovics MBSR? What mean value should I enter? Come on, quickly. What should I enter? Minus 3.0, minus 3.20. Sonia, not minus 0. Okay, these are minor mistakes which you guys need to make sure that you don't make it. Minus 3.20. Minus 3.20. Note the confidence interval as well, guys. Okay, minus 3.20. Now, I don't have standard deviation, I don't have standard error. I have the confidence interval. What should be the confidence interval that I add? Tell me the confidence interval, guys. Come on, quickly. Was it 4.927? It's minus 4.51 to minus 1.89. This is the confidence interval that I got. Taha? Okay, this is the confidence interval
Please
that I
take
got.
a picture of this thing. Dr. Adya, do not have the picture for this.
Yeah, guys, take the picture for this. Now, this is all we need. This is our raw data that we needed actually. Okay, so take the picture for this and we'll use it now. Okay, minus 4.51 to minus 1.89. Minus 4.51 to minus 1.89. Minus 4. Was it 4.51? Yes, to minus 1.89. Okay, and we will enter the sample size. Sample size for the MBSR group, that is 49. Okay, now we'll go to our control group. Can you guys tell me the mean for the control group? Mean and standard deviation, mean and confidence interval. Note it down. Note it down and send it to me on the chat box. Yes, it is minus 1.70. Please tell me the confidence interval. Come on, guys, quickly. Tell me the confidence interval.
Recording in progress.
Minus 3.11 to minus 0.29. 0.29. Okay. What is the sample size? I think it was 46. 46, yes. Okay. And I'll click on update data table now. Okay, so you guys see I got it calculated the standard deviation for me, and I got my standard mean difference along with the confidence interval. Now we'll repeat the same for wells. I'll go to a calculator again. Okay, now just tell me the values quickly, guys. Come on. Did you guys take the picture? Tell me the values quickly for the mean for in wells.
I guess they haven't.
Okay. Okay, I'll take the picture myself. No, Mariam, not 9.57. It's 1.65. I'll take the picture. So let me just enter the values now. So the mean is 1.65. The confidence intervals are 4.98 till 8.28. And the sample size was 10, I guess.
Adya, it is in negative. The minus 4.98.
Okay, it's minus 4. Yeah, minus 4.98 and okay, सही है. And the sample size was 10. सही है, 10 and 9. Okay, now I'll go back to the control group. We'll add the mean over here, which is minus 2.12. The confidence interval is minus 6.40 to 2.16. Okay, and the sample size is 9, and I will update the data table now. So I got my values. Clear, guys? Clear how I got this? Now we will see our graph. Okay, so this is our graph. And first of all, this is our graph. Let me just adjust the scale.
Just click it. Just click anywhere after setting the scale. Reduce it to 2. 2.
Okay, so this is the final forest plot that we have. Now the important part that is left is the labeling. First, we'll do the labeling and then we will proceed towards the interpretation. Okay. Now, looking at all of these, looking at this, look at this, look at this, look at this. Can you guys tell me? Look at the first one. Can you guys interpret this mean difference for me? It is negative.
For those who were confused regarding standard mean difference, look here. We used a standard mean difference here in the original forest plot in our original analysis. In the background work, we use the mean difference only.
In the background, you will always use mean difference. Okay, standard mean difference. The effect size is always for your main forest plot. Intervention decreases outcome. The outcome was headache frequency. What was your intervention? Your intervention was MBSR, which is decreasing headache frequency, right? So, what do you guys think? What should be the label over here? How should I label it now? MBSR on the left. Excellent. MBSR on the left. We will label favors MBSR. MBSR, and that will automatically become our control. Okay, do you guys, why on left? Alina, see, let's take this example. Minus 0.32. Minus 0.32. Alina, you will interpret it for me now. Can you interpret this standard mean difference for me? Minus 0.32. Can you tell me how will I interpret it as? Please, Alina Amir, you will interpret it for me. Intervention decreases outcome. Exactly. My intervention is, what is my intervention? Alina, what is my intervention? It is MBSR. Okay, so MBSR is basically reducing the headache frequency, right? So is my intervention favoring the outcome? Is my intervention favoring the outcome? MBSR is decreasing. It's not favoring the outcome. Intervention is decreasing the outcome, right? So is that not a good thing? And then the outcome is headache frequency. So basically MBSR is reducing headache frequency. So is it favoring it or is it not favoring it? Think of it this way. Interpret MBSR.
Headache कम हो रहा है. After taking MBSR, headache reduce हो रहा है.
After mindfulness based therapies, headache is reducing more. So is that a good thing or is it a bad thing? Is it favoring the outcome or not? See, increasing the outcome or decreasing the outcome does not mean if it is favoring or not favoring. Favoring depends on what the outcome is and what the association you guys are drawing. Exactly. It's going to favor, right? So now if it is favoring and the square is on the left side, so technically what should the label over here be? What should logically the label over here be? Alina? You got it? Okay, great. Anyone else has got the same confusion? You guys can ask me. Anyone else got the same confusion or do you guys understand how to put the labels over here? No, Etisham, that's not always important. It's not always important. The examination side will be labeled as the interventional side. Okay? Okay, Nidal, Aisha, you guys still don't get it. Okay, fine. I'll explain it again. See, go step by step. Okay, go step by step. Look at each of the values. Okay, look at this minus 0.05, minus 0.32. We'll look at both of these articles. These articles lie on the left side of the graph. Okay, we don't know what the left side of the graph is. But if we are to interpret these two values are negative, right? When our standard mean difference or weighted mean difference values are negative, what did I tell you guys that when the value is negative, what does it mean? Aisha, Nidal, you guys will You guys please reply. Nishal and Nidal and Aisha. You guys, can you guys tell me how will we interpret negative values as simple interpretation? Intervention decreases outcome. Exactly, Nidal. Intervention will decrease the outcome, right? Over here, an intervention is headache, is MBSR, mindfulness based therapies. Okay. And our outcome is headache frequency. So basically, MBSR is decreasing headache frequencies. Is that a good thing or is it a bad thing? That our intervention group is decreasing the headache frequency. Is it a good thing? It is a good thing, right? So technically, if these two values are falling on the left side of the graph, and these two values are basically favoring our interventional group, so what should the label be on this side? Should it be our interventional group or should it be the control group? Interventional group. Got it? Excellent job. Aisha, did you get it? Okay, great. Anyone else got a confusion or is it clear? If anyone else
Now,
still
can you guys tell me if this result is significant or not?
Yes, now we will go to
What's the p-value here?
go towards it. Before going towards the significance, yes, it is not significant. Can you guys tell me? But can you guys tell me what side is the result favoring? Generally, what is it favoring? By looking at the standard mean difference value, by looking at the diamond, which side is it favoring? Can you guys tell me? Which side is it favoring? It is yes, it decreases the outcome. It is favoring the interventional side. That is good. But however, it is not significant, right? Even though our results are suggestive that MBSR reduces headache frequency, our results are not significant. Okay, they're not significant. Yes, the association is not significant. Excellent. Can you guys tell me by looking at the confidence interval, is it clear that why the study is not, why the outcome, why it is not significant? Looking at the confidence interval, can you guys tell me? One is negative and the other one is positive, right? So exactly, yes, Nidal, you got it. Excellent job. And look at the confidence interval of all three of these studies. None of the confidence interval is significant, right? So none of these studies is significant, and the outcome is also not significant. So you guys understand
Which p-value are you gonna look on? Which p-value is important for us? For the 0.5 for exactly the overall effect.
Yes.
It will show you the diamond, the pool result key p-value, the overall effect. Great. Heterogeneity pay, we will come to it later.
So guys, this was the interpretation of
Recording
the
stopped.
And this is the conclusion of our analysis for continuous outcomes. Are continuous outcomes clear to all of you?
Recording in progress.
Exercises, the data extraction and the analysis, the use of generic inverse variance, is all of this clear to you guys? Because this is now we will wrap. This is we'll be wrapping up continuous outcomes now. So I hope it's clear to all of you. You guys were very cooperative, and I'm happy that you guys understood it all easily. Okay. Amaima, Nidal, Fatima, Anaya, do you guys all understand? Hamza, Afridi, you guys all understand? Can you please open the options for meta-analysis? I want to take a snapshot. Options from main analysis. Okay.
If this is not clear to anyone, he or she can ask right now.
There you go. These are the options for the main analysis.
So guys, if you don't have the change in any outcome, you don't have the change, what you will do? What will be your additional step? What will be your additional step? You don't have the change directly. What you will do?
This change is not given. We'll make a new analysis, background work. Yes, excellent. Excellent. So yes, now I guess it's also time for Maghrib in a few minutes. So we'll take a gap, we'll take a break, and I guess we'll take a slightly longer break. We'll join at 7:45. Is that fine, Dr. Shahryar?